Today we're starting a mini-series rebuild featuring the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young, or maybe not Bryce Young. Will we trade him, will we not? We'll figure it out. But this series, over a couple of seasons, we're going to try to build the Carolina Panthers, my Carolina Panthers, now that I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to try to build them into a powerhouse and ultimately a Super Bowl champion. Is it too difficult? Will it be difficult enough? We will find that out too. Now there's one man for the job and one man only, and that's me. Doug, good game, brother. I'm the man for the job. On offense, we're probably going to run Carolina's offense. Probably going to run their defense. We might switch that up. And then apparel, we had to go ahead and make it look great. This is the best they have, honestly. We looked at all over the stores, and there's not a lot of options. In our first order of business, we hop into a little press conference saying, let's talk about our game plan for the Denver Broncos. What weaknesses that we can exploit are out there? It's a great question. Well, they're starting a rookie quarterback. Yeah, we know a lot about him. Okay, he's going to throw short a lot. Well, okay, what's a good weakness of his that we can actually exploit? Let's see what my team says. Are they ready? He struggles with fumbles. Don't a lot of people, but that's fine. How should we attack that, okay? We need to strip the ball every time we hit him. That feels like an aggressive milestone, but honestly, if we can do that, we're going to be successful. All right, so we need to force him to fumble. We forced 2 fumbles. I think we tried to force him to fumble once. 2 fumbles is crazy, in my opinion. So we forced him to fumble. That gives us a nice little opportunity to get a win here, I believe. Now, because of where we're starting this little rebuild here, the Deontay Johnson trade just happened actually today, so we had to make sure we reflected that in the actual game. So Deontay Johnson and a 6th rounder for a 2025 5th rounder from the Ravens. I could have got more for it, I bet. Now, as we do this rebuild, I want to make a couple of trades before we kind of pick things off. Here in week number 8, by the way, is where we're going to be starting. And Cedric Tillman for Adam Thielen is going to be the move we're going to make straight up. Thielen, an aging receiver. Tillman kind of buried in their depth chart a little bit, but still has a lot of promise. They could use a veteran. We could use a young guy to add to our already young core. Tillman is going to be the move, and we're going to absolutely make this deal. Now, I know we're not going to win a ton of games this year, and after getting a little wide receiver there, I also want to go ahead and move Shaq Thompson. On the final year of his deal, he's 30 years of age. Re-signing him is going to be expensive as well, so we're going to go ahead and get Eric Stokes from the Packers and a 2025 7th rounder that we'll try to repackage for something else later on towards the draft. This is going to help our secondary a lot more, not just now, but in the future, so I like this move a lot. And the last trade we're going to make before we hop into games is going to be Chuba Hubbard going to the Dallas Cowboys for Mr. DeMarvion Overshown. Now, look, Dallas said they're going to go all in. They didn't. They do get a young running back that isn't maybe the guy they thought they would get, Derrick Henry, in the offseason. But they do have a guy that can really be the bell cow for them, and we get a guy to replace the guy that we just traded, a middle linebacker. It's a win-win for everybody. And with all the moves we made, we're also going to sign Jerick McKinnon. We're going to cut one of our middle linebackers, but having a mentor at the running back position, especially when we have a young guy like Jonathan Brooks now as our everyday starter, I feel like that's important. And we're also going to bring in Jason Verrett as a mentor for our corners as well. We got some young guys there that need a little bit of help and a little bit of XP to be added to their squad, so we're going to bring him on as well as a guy that doesn't play much but is still there. And we do have to cut 2 players because of those moves. So the first we're going to do is Shamar Bartholomew. We're going to cut him. We feel pretty good at corner overall, so he's kind of expendable. And then Anthony Brown is going to be the other one. We've got 8 active. We can afford to get rid of him as well. So those are the guys that we've cut, and I feel pretty good about the roster. So the Carolina Panthers come out here today trying to get a big W against the mighty Denver Broncos. Maybe mighty is not the right word here, but Bryce Young versus Bo Nix is what everybody wants to see, not on primetime television. Our first opportunity to see what this offense is going to look like in week number 8. And Jonathan Brooks, this is why we traded Hubbard. Hubbard's great, but Brooks could be way better. We kick Dave Canales out here, and Coach Good Game Brother is ready to see Bryce Young shine. I believe in maybe getting completion next time. Bryce back in shotgun. We're just trying to make him comfortable. I know the receiver core he has isn't really exactly anything to write home about, but we got some young talent here. And the hope for us is to go in the offseason with one of these receivers, maybe 2 of these receivers stepping up, showing that they can be that guy. And then we take, that opportunity to go in the free agency and sign a big-time name. Or maybe we go into the draft and we find a franchise left tackle or a franchise wide receiver or somebody to really cement this offense as being the next best thing, because Carolina has so much potential. It's just we had to get Canales up out of here, okay? And maybe Tepper too. We'll see. Bryce so far is absolutely cooking. Sees his guy underneath here, and Mingo drops that. How does he do that? So here we go. Big 2nd and 10 inside the red zone. Bryce has been leading this team down here. Can he get the job done, though? He's going to send Mingo in motion. Looks like they're in man here. Surtain's watching him. Bryce throws a dot. We thought he was going to continue on the drag across, and he didn't. And, well, that looks very familiar to Panthers fans. Offensively, things were absolutely great, and then we kind of just, made a big mistake there in the red zone. A lot of opportunities. Bo Nix checks it down underneath. A big hit, and you're going to see a big stop as Josie Joe brings down Mims Jr. for 4th and 1. Back out here with another opportunity to get the drive going, and we are deep in our own territory, which means that we are giving the ball to a man that has not turned it over quite yet. But this play is probably going to be coming back. But who are we yelling at? That's my question right now. Taylor. We were already deep in our own territory, and things just got a little bit crazier. So we're going to try to survive here. Bryce Young steps up in the pocket, maybe gets to the one. There's another penalty on this play. Who's this one on? On Taylor again. And it's a safety. The Panthers going to Panther. Despite the safety earlier to make this a baseball score, we've got an opportunity to get back in the end zone. Last time we were in the red zone, it didn't go so well, and this time, good Lord. I still have questions. 3rd down and 4. The Panthers are just hoping that their squad out here in Denver can make some plays happen. A check down to Brooks. Brooks goes nowhere. Well, we got an opportunity for the field goal unit to come out. Bryce Young looked a little aggressive over there. Okay, I saw him yelling a little bit. Didn't seem too happy, but our field goal kicker is going to give us the lead. 3-2. It's like a baseball game. The defense has been doing their job the majority of the game. They've only given up 2 points. Really not their fault. It's actually the offense's help. And look at this. Bo Nix forgets what he's doing, and Wallace is going to bring him down. Fans here in Denver are treated to an unbelievable ball game here, as there's a 3-2 game still. And Bryce Young stepping up in the pocket. And look at the little fella run. Bryce back out here in shoddy. You see him rolling a little bit. He's got a check down here to Brooks. Brooks is going to catch that when he gets to about 4 yards. This offense has had moments. They're still not really doing great here. The Broncos defense, though, is pretty good. We've had a lot of trouble because of that. We've had more trouble with holding calls happening. And I believe that one's going to be on probably Moton again. Okay, Taylor, if it's on him, we're trading him next season or the offseason. Okay, it's on Robert Hunt. At least it's somebody different. 2nd and 14. Send a man in motion. Underneath is kind of where we're living right now. Cedric Tillman getting involved. Again, newly acquired. Tillman's actually had a really impressive game. 5 for 61 so far. In this offense, that's honestly legendary. Like, you get your jersey retired in this offense because of that. Look at Bryce throwing a dot, and that one's going to be caught by Ming. Mingo doesn't get his feet in. Are you kidding me? And Coach Goodgame, brother, see enough. He says, look, we're up 3-2. There's 5:30 left in this game. Make something happen. He's coming out with the exact same play. But he's going to have a little adjustment here to have Brooks kind of set up. Bryce Young out here scrambling. Floats one. And it's dropped like everything else in Carolina. In an absolute offensive superpower game, the Broncos down 3-2 with an opportunity to try to get this game, having a lead. Bo Nix scrambling. Picked up by Jackson as 4th and 4. Denver could go from 2 points to 5 points and take the lead, which again would be one of the weirdest. Might be a scoregami. This kick is up. This one is going to be good. And now we've got the ball with 3:35 left and an opportunity to get our 2nd win of the season. Down 3-5 to getting a win, doubling your win total on the season. We're about to find out. Play clock kind of winding down here, under 3 minutes. Big opportunity here. Bryce Young stretching his legs and gets a good 7 yards. Keep in mind, a field goal could win this. This has not been a great game offensively. Neither team has scored a touchdown. Under 3 minutes left in the ball game. And we're just trying to fight for first downs. You can imagine the criticism Coach Goodgame, brother, knows he's going to get if his team does not win this game. Whether it's a field goal or touchdown, he just wants to walk out here with a W in his first ever game after getting hired mid-season. And Bryce finds Thomas, and Thomas, plenty of room here. He's inside the red zone now. Bryce Young under center. Feels the pressure, drops one off here. Tommy Tremble runs over a guy, and we pick up 8. We want to be careful here not to score too early, which, again, we're just trying to score it all. But we don't want to score too quickly here because they have plenty of time left, and they use their first timeout. 1st and goal, feeling good again from the 4. Bryce Young back in the backfield. Jonathan Brooks to his left, little crack toss play. Brooks gets some opportunities, and he's down at the 4. And Jonathan Brooks actually goes down on that play. So now we've got a situation where Brooks is out. Miles Sanders comes into the game. A nice run by the veteran, and the first one we see from him in a minute gets the touchdown. This is Miles Sanders' game. We're just living in it. And we find out that Brooks actually has a quadricep strain, and he's not going to be eligible to come back in the game. There's only a minute 18 left, so we kind of imagine that, but Sanders definitely comes in. So now it's time to see what this defense can ultimately do. We've got some guys that can make some plays, but it's up to Bo Nix and that offense to see if they can make something happen here. A dot across the middle. We're going to get the tackle, but now they're in midfield. The Broncos again keep it moving. A big hit, though, comes from Wallace, and Trevor Wallace's 2nd sack of the game. Coach Dave Canales had that man buried in the depth chart, but we made sure that Trevor Wallace got an opportunity to shine out here. And this ball's being thrown in. J.C. Horn's going to pick it off. That is going to seal the deal. The Panthers are going to improve to be 2-6. And just like that, we're going to walk out here with a second W of the season. We don't want too many of these W's, but I will take this against Sean Payton. We don't respect him at all. Recapping the stats, Bryce Young nearly throws for 200 yards. No passing touchdowns, had an interception, but there were some positives to be had there. On the ground, we have Williams at 55. We see Jonathan Brooks go for 47. He does get injured, but 4 broken tackles. He was balling out. Bryce Young picking up some on the ground. Miles Sanders comes in strong at the end of the game, too. And on the receiving side, we relied on Jonathan Brooks a lot, 5 for 37. We're going to be checked down Charlie a lot with the passing game. Cedric Tillman, 5 for 61. I thought he was fantastic in his debut, considering what we were calling Xavier Legette gets hurt. We're hoping it's not for very long. We also see Mingo get involved, as well as Tremble and Ian Thomas. And then defensively, Jadeveon Clowney might be 411 years old, but he was out there making tackles. 7 tackles for him, not 1, not 2, but 3 sacks. Some might call it a regular, but that's just Jadeveon Clowney doing what he does best. Get to the quarterback. And shout out to Trevor Wallace, the guy that I personally went out on the depth chart and found myself. And 2 sacks, 5 tackles, 2 for a loss today. He was absolutely killing, and as a rookie, he might be earning himself a whole lot more playing time and maybe even some dev trade stuff that we're going to work on. After the game, J.C. Horn says everybody's feeling good after the win. I'm telling him good. He said, I'm frustrated we didn't do a good job shutting down the rookie quarterback, and I'm just saying, look, I get it, but we got the win, and that was a great suggestion. We just got to execute it a little bit better. I forgot about the fumble, I'm going to be honest, but I'll take the W. Now, as we head into kind of the scouting portion as well, we want to make sure we're focusing on the right things, and I think a big thing I want to look at here is probably wide receivers. I think from a national region, they talk about wide receivers, quarterbacks, and right ends really being the strengths. Offensive line kind of weak, middle linebacker kind of weak. I would love to find a just bona fide stud at wide receiver for us to use. Now, before we hop into our very big game against the New Orleans Saints, we got a couple of guys we got to try to lock in before things get too crazy. Now, Eric Stokes is definitely one of those guys. He's 25 years old. We just traded for him, as you guys saw a few minutes ago. He fits a lot of what we ultimately need, and he's got good interest in the team, but I want to try to lock him in for more than 2 seasons. I'm thinking probably 4 is what I would love to get. We'll have to bump up a little bit of money if I had to guess. But if I can lock him in for 4 seasons at a pretty cheap rate beside J.C. Horn, that makes me feel incredibly good. And the offer locks him in. Jordan Fuller's another guy we feel really good about. A 3-year deal. This feels like it's pretty much in the right market value. He's got high interest in this already, and he's happy to sign right back with the organization. Austin Corbett is a guy that we probably want to bring back as well. 75 overall. He's 28, so not the greatest center of all time, but on a 2-year deal, I feel like that's pretty good, but he's not going to want to sign at a low rate. His interest level is stupid low. He wants the big market. He doesn't want to play in a state that has income tax. We do have that. So we're going to try to offer him 3.2, bump his bonus up to 2.8. He probably still won't do it. Just kidding. He's back. Now, Xavier Woods is 29, but he's still an 80 overall. He's a guy that is probably going to be fine. I would like to get him down to a 2-year deal, so we'll bump his money up slightly. Again, this is Carolina. We probably got to overpay some people. But if I can get him on a 2-year deal instead of a 3-year deal, I feel a lot better, but he says that we're not accounting for his interest. So he might be a guy that just ends up walking in the offseason. And one of the last ones we'll look at right now is Mike Jackson. His interest is okay, but again, not interested in having income tax, wants to play in a big market. He's 27. I kind of want to give him a 2-year deal, 2.2 and 1.3 for his bonus, see if that's maybe good enough. And it's good enough to get him. So I'm good with that. Mike Jackson's a guy that's kind of a bridge player for us. Not going to be the long-term solution, but he's good enough to be in our rotation right now. Now, our defensive coordinator hits us up and says, Coach, Trevor Wallace has been playing his tail off recently. I want to keep pushing him to step up this week. How's this challenge look for him? So 6 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss. Or we could choose a new goal. Let's kind of see what we got here as an option. So what are we looking for? 6 tackles and 1 sack, interception, or forced fumble. I kind of like that a little bit better in case he doesn't happen to get a tackle for a loss. So we're going to go 6 plus tackles and 1+ sack. Oh, that kind of got more challenging for him, didn't it? I think this is fine. 6 tackles, 1 sack, interception, forced fumble, or more. I like that. I feel good about it. So I want him to focus on flying to the ball, make it a bunch of tackles, and when he blitzes, get to the QB. The most important thing on defense, try to force a turnover. He says, understand, I'll make sure he does as well. This is a big game for him. Before the game as well, Robert Hunt has an opportunity to get upgraded. We're going to upgrade his pass protector because Lord knows we're going to need a boost right there for him. He gets 2 upgrades here, +2 to pass block and pass block finesse. And then along with that, Jordan Fuller gets a big upgrade here. We're going to increase his zone because, again, we're trying to make sure that he's locking down the secondary here. He gets 1 single upgrade of a +3 to zone coverage, which honestly, if you're getting only 1 single upgrade, that's great. He now has a 79 zone coverage, which, again, you love to see. Bryce Young is trying to get 2 wins in a row for the first time all season long, as we now are 2-6 in the year after a thrilling, ridiculous, bad, wonderful matchup against the Broncos. It is really good to see Jonathan Brooks back and healthy after getting a little bit of an injury scare at the end of the last game. Just sort of had a strain, I believe, quadricep, but he's back and it makes me happy. That could have been bad. Big third down already for Bryce Young and company. Again, we haven't had this greatest start. The ground game is looking fantastic, but we really want to get Cedric Tillman involved. And there's 5'1" Bryce Young throwing it off the back of a lineman. And we do end up picking back up here under 4 minutes left. Deep in our own territory yet again. Just trying to make a little something happen. Bryce feeling some pressure. You're seeing him roll out a little bit. Again, he's got wheels. It's just we don't want him to get hit too hard. And honestly, the biggest conversation we have right now is, will Bryce be the starter after this year? Again, he's got the rest of the season to figure out if he is the guy or not, to really sell us on being that guy, the franchise quarterback. And we don't know if he's going to be him, but right now, Bryce Young is out here running and looking like he's got some potential. And honestly, it kind of behooves us to have Bryce be the #1 guy going forward. I would honestly love that, but it really comes down to performance and what he can ultimately do out there each week. Well, 2nd down and 6. They're giving us underneath all game long, but you can kind of see that accuracy is a little bit off for Bryce. This drive going way better than the first one. Moving the ball through the air, on the ground. Jonathan Brooks getting another 4 yards. 2nd and 6 for Bryce. He's doing a pretty good job against the pressure. Slings one out here, and look at Tillman with a big grab. Now that you're in the red zone, though, you want to make sure you don't turn it over. Last week, Bryce Young, again, you saw the turnover he had in the red zone. It was kind of critical. Broke the drive for the team. You don't want to be in another one of those ball games that just, it's barely anything. And look at Bryce running down the field. Great blocking, and Bryce Young turning back to Alabama. Bryce. Oh, he's flexing on him now. We see you, Bryce. Got the ball back here. 14 seconds left. We're going to send a man in motion. Mingo comes in the backfield. The tight end across the middle, and Thomas is going to haul that in. We have no timeout, so we got to get back up here and spike it. And we mismanaged it. We didn't realize we didn't have a timeout, and that is one of the blunders in Coach Game Brothers' early career of coaching. But we're in Carolina. They should look past that. Third quarter picking up here again after the mismanagement of the time. We are trying our best to get this ball back in scoring territory. And Xavier Legette with a nice pickup. Bryce back under center here. Again, the Saints haven't really been able to do too much to stop him. He gets hit those. He throws that when it goes incomplete. Crucial 2nd down. Again, Bryce has been mostly good. A couple of blunders here and there, but we like how he's playing. Big pass, and Mingo is going to hold on to that one for the 1st down. Young's going to send Thomas in motion here. Goes back out here to the edge. Bryce throws one, and it's going to be picked off. The Saints see an opportunity. They're going to try to take it to the house here, and I don't think anybody in Carolina, unless a fan comes out of the stands, is going to catch that man right there. After the pick 6, we're back on offense in midfield, trying to get a conversion here on 3rd down, inches to go, and Brooks has got enough. Another 3rd down here, 3rd and 6. A beautiful ball that's going to be thrown right to another Saints defender. We thought we had him over the top. We were absolutely wrong. Despite Bryce having a little bit of issues, we are finding ourselves up 14-7, but Bryce is feeling pressure, and they immediately get him off the back edge. Granderson gets his 2nd sack of the game. So with a 7-point lead, the wind kind of blowing back in our face, Piñeiro's going to try to get a kick here to extend this lead to 10. And unfortunately, it goes wide left. That one's going to be no good. And it's still a 7-point game. Derek Carr and the Saints out here with an opportunity to tie this ball game back up. Carr has got all the time in the world right now. It's kind of insane, and they get a pass completed. Carr is going to send Kamara in motion. Over the middle again, we're getting cooked. Scott makes the tackle. The home crowd knows we need to stop here. Carr sends a man in motion again. The pressure off the edge is there, and Woods is going to miss that. Taysom Hill takes it to the house, and we have a tie ball game with Carolina having the ball back with 1:56 left. So this is Bryce's opportunity here. A couple of turnovers, a couple of bad plays, but right now he can be the hero right now in Carolina. Bryce here in shoddy. Immediate pressure. He's got to get rid of that one. This offensive line is not doing him any favors. Saints defense has got to be feeling really good right now. They haven't given up a lot of yards recently. Bryce throws an absolute lame duck prayer, and Xavier Legette hauls it in. Look at Bryce. He's like, yeah, buddy. No touchdowns, but he feels good about that pass. Carolina comes right back up here to the line. Again, all of their timeouts in this situation, they feel pretty good. But they've got to execute. Even a field goal wins this game. Underneath, Thomas drops that. You've got to be kidding us. Coach game brother was seen in the sidelines with a lot of expletives flying left and right. I don't want to be Thomas coming back to the huddle. Bryce though goes right back to the tight end, and the tight end's going to stay in bounds and get the first down. A huge play, and way to go back to him, Bryce. With where we have the ball, we've got an opportunity to run it and be okay. A field goal wins it, but so does a touchdown. And Jonathan Brooks gets hit hard. Brooks having the best game of his career so far, 129 yards on the ground. He has just been tearing up the Saints all game long. He gets another one here, cuts up. Love to see the moves he's making, but there's going to be a flag on the play, and that one's definitely going to be coming back. Got to imagine we're going to see maybe a hole, probably a Motan if I had to guess. We'll see who it's on. And it's on Robert Hunt this time. So now we kind of move back. We're not exactly in the field goal range that we once were. We're going to try to extend this defense a little bit, see if we can make a play. Ooh, our guys got hung up a lot more than we thought, and they used their last timeout by the Saints. And now we find out that Jonathan Brooks is injured. Bruised ribs will return soon. We need him in the game right now. The play call here, the smart one, is to run the football, take some time off the clock. But we want to see if we can maybe make something happen here. So we're going to try to set up a play, see if our guys can potentially get into a really good spot. Bryce Young throws one, and it's a dot to Xavier Legette. We might have stopped the clock, but that's okay. What a catch. Bryce throws an absolute beautiful ball there. Xavier Legette, 7 targets, 7 grabs, 104 yards on the afternoon. And Jonathan Brooks right back in the game, getting 4 more. We're trying to get a touchdown here, but we want to take as much time off the clock as possible. Giving it right back to Brooks, who gets to the 5, but now it's 3rd down. Not a lot of time left. 3rd down. We're going to go for it, and Jonathan Brooks, with 2 seconds left, gets it. But there's a penalty on the play. How many times? We're undisciplined. Everybody's running in practice. Does that run any time off the clock? That's our biggest fear right now. It doesn't. We can still kick the field goal. So Pinheiro missed one earlier. This should be, again, a chip shot for him. Doesn't need full power. Lines up, kicks it. Carolina, was it pretty? No. But was it a W? Absolutely, yes. We'll take it. Recapping the stats of the game, we see Bryce go 22 of 32, 263, so improving on the passing yards selection, but the interceptions higher, the touchdowns not quite there, so that definitely throws us off. On the ground, though, we ran for over 200 as a team. Jonathan Brooks goes for 134. Bryce goes for 71 and a touchdown. Both those guys scoring makes us incredibly happy. Miles Sanders didn't really have a good day. And then in the air, Xavier Legette starting to step up as our bona fide number 1. 7 for 104. Again, no passing touchdowns today, but we see Thomas go 4 for 44. The drop, we'll forgive him on for right now. And Tillman, a solid game for him again, 4 for 39, balling out today. Mingo goes 3 for 33. We also see Tremble get 2 for 34 as well, and Brooks getting involved in the passing game. I just like how we're spreading the ball around. And then defensively, Trevin Wallace doesn't get what he needs, though. He needed 6 tackles. He got 5. So he's going to miss it by a little bit, but we're still proud of the effort he's putting out there every single day. After the game, Bryce Young, again, not throwing for a touchdown, but he did run for a touchdown. He does get an opportunity to go ahead and upgrade his stuff. We're going to go field general here. It gives him the best chance in medium, short, and deep accuracy getting increased. He's a 69 overall. We're going to try to give him a little bit better. He gets 2 upgrades here, +1 to play action, +2 to throw accuracy mid. Again, both of those are honestly much needed. His throw power is not great. His accuracy across the board outside of short is not great. There's a lot of work, and he is definitely a project, but we got to figure out, is he a project worth investing in, or is there somebody better in the draft? We also get an opportunity to go ahead and upgrade Aquanu. We're going to go ahead and increase his agile selection. Again, pass protector will get increased in there a little bit as well, but he gets +1 to awareness and pass block, and +2 to lead block and pass block finesse. Jonathan Brooks has another career day. We're going to increase his elusive back, probably one of the easiest selections we could possibly make make here. That's going to give him +1 to awareness, break tackle, and juke move, and +2 to spin move. Again, all things that we'll take. And last but not least, the old man Jadeveon Clowney comes back home to the Carolinas, and he ends up doing really well. He's been leading us so far on defense. I'm loving to see what he's doing out there. We're going to go ahead and increase his power rusher. Again, the speed isn't there like it used to be in his younger days, but the power is definitely still there. +1 to play rec, power moves, and tackle. You love to see it. So after the game, we're talking to Trevor Wallace to say, we set a different goal for you than in that game, but as a defense, you guys played well together and did some good things, which I think is fair, right? He didn't hit the numbers we wanted him to, but he still did well. He said, I didn't have the game I wanted, but like he said, we did some good things. Exactly, Trevor. Okay, you're going to be fine. He gets 2,500 XP, which the dev trade upgrade would have been nice, but we'll take 2,500 XP for sure. And as we're heading into the final week of the regular season, I'll give you an update on where we are, all the different things you might have missed out on. I want to talk about player negotiations and some guys that we didn't sign or could not sign. Xavier Woods being one of them. He wanted 3 years. I didn't want to give him more than 2 years. He ended up opting to go to free agency, so good luck with that. Tommy Tremble. This is a tough one. We tried to get him back. He did not want to re-sign. We tried giving him a lot more money. He just did not care. We'll try to get him back in free agency, but if we lose him, it sucks, but it isn't the end of the world, in my opinion. We have Jatavian Sanders here to help us out a ton. Brady Christensen, we could not get back. David Moore, we ended up withdrawing the opportunity. We didn't really care. Ian Thomas, we could not get back as well. Sam Franklin, we could not get back. LeBrian Ray, Jerick McKinnon, we let go. Jason Verrett, we said you can go. Andy Dalton, we're not bringing him back at that much money. Eddie Pinheiro has missed way too many field goals, so we got rid of him as well. Johnny Hecker is older. And then Kem Kwanu, when we get the option for his 5th-year option, we will absolutely be accepting that because we need somebody to protect either Bryce Young or whoever becomes our franchise quarterback. Now, as we head into Week 18, the final week of the regular season, the Chiefs, the Bears, the Vikings, the Steelers, Dolphins, you see a lot of teams that are absolutely dominating. The Eagles are still fighting for a playoff spot right now, which is kind of crazy. If you look at the bottom, which is, our Super Bowl right now, the Browns are 3-13, as are the Titans. We are currently the 3rd overall pick. We are tied with the Giants and the Jags. The Broncos, Patriots, Rams, all those teams are sitting there in a good spot. We don't want to win this game. We would like to get some stats. We played the Falcons, but we would like to keep it close, but lose. That's our goal, because if we do, we've pretty much locked up a top 3 pick, which is what matters. Now, team morale is obviously down because we've been losing a lot of games, which is actually our plan right now, so I'm not really mad at that. But Bryce is technically a 71 overall. Morale hit has him down to a 69, #nice. His ratings are okay, but the throw power is really the thing that throws us off the most. And that has me kind of thinking that if we have an opportunity for the quarterback that we love, we'll absolutely probably take him. But if he's not there, maybe we try to go get a wide receiver or something else and give Bryce another year, or maybe we try to have some crazy trade concocted and put out there. We'll figure it out, but I think Bryce has done enough to show us that he can be the guy, but is he going to be the franchise guy? I don't know if I'm sold on that. Now, as the draft is kind of shaken out, the guy that I'm probably the most locked in on wanting to take with our first round draft pick, assuming we get an opportunity to take him, will be Theo Hoover. But as it's kind of looking, the Browns have been looking at him pretty heavily, so we don't really know if we'll get an opportunity to take him. From a physical standpoint, we'll see what his combine and his pro day ends up doing, but his skills, he's got some stuff that really makes me happy. Medium and deep accuracy are both at a B. Short's an A. Throwing the runs an A. Throwing the pressures an A. Break sack is an A. Awareness is pretty high at a B. A little worried about maybe what his injury pans out being overall, but I feel like he could really be the franchise quarterback of this draft. And if we maybe don't go with the quarterback opportunity, maybe we don't get a top 3 pick, or maybe Theo Hoover's gone by the time we go there. We don't like any of the other guys. Jadarius Leary is a guy that I think we could maybe look at. A, catching traffic and catching, deep routes a B, and releases an A. He's 6'3", 229. His speed is good or solid, so probably like an 88, 89 if I had to guess. But as long as his speed kind of measures out in the combine, this could be a guy we look at too. Looking at the other QBs too, Will Miller is a field general quarterback, so his medium and deep accuracy is somewhere between a B and a D. We haven't scouted him fully all the way there, but his medium and short are both an A. Under pressure is a B. We just know that he's not going to be fast, right? His speed is going to be solid to decent, which means that he's probably going to be 60 or 70 speed, which isn't terrible, but is it what we want? There's also Andrew Drayton, who's kind of fallen down a little bit on the board. He's also a smaller quarterback at 5'11", but he's gotten decent weight to him at 226. Deep accuracy, a little bit of worry there. Medium accuracy, a little less worry there. Short accuracy and under pressure, great. But honestly, that's the same situation we have for Bryce, so he's probably the least likely quarterback of the 3 for us to look at. So here we go, facing the Falcons in Atlanta today. Kirk O'Bangs, Mr. Kirk Chains himself. We got to see what we do. Listen, I want to get some stats. I want our guys to play decently well, but not well enough to get a W. If we win this game, I'm fighting at least 3 to 4 players in the locker room. Listen, starting the game, our defense is already struggling a little bit. We're just blitzing a little bit. You know, Kirk, enjoy man coverage. Okay. All right, Kirk Cousins in 5 wide. Empty set. Kirk Cousins going for the QB draw. Torn Achilles and all. He's down at the 1. 3rd and goal. Kirk's got Bijan in the backfield with him. The pressure is there. The defense gets to him. And we recover a fumble. I'm proud. But why did you do that? Okay, let them recover it. So after the defense does great, but not what I wanted them to do, we're out here back again on offense. See what we can do. Bryce Young's going to send a man in motion. Bryce ready to show the wheels, and Bryce says, I'm not sliding today. I respect it. I will say, though, whether it's Bryce or Theo or someone else at the helm next year, I really like what this receiving core has done. And, oh, my God. We got the quarterback hit up, and I'm pretty sure there's a penalty that's on our side. Holding on the offense. Who's it on? Damian Lewis. Okay. So we go back 10 yards, 1st and 20 after that unfortunate play. A nice pass here, and Thomas is going to get that to be about a yard shy. Offense with the 2nd is short. Offensive line's been doing a pretty decent job so far in this drive, except for that one play. Bryce has had a couple of games where he's thrown for over 200 yards. See if he can make another one happen right here. Moves one man in motion. Tillman goes to the side. Bryce feels a little bit of the pressure, throws it on the run. This is overthrown, and it's nearly picked off. And now we find ourselves on a big 2nd down. Bryce again stretching the field. Look at the young man get out of bounds. A late hit, if you ask me. 5 wide here for Bryce. The safety blitzes. He knows he has one-on-one. He throws one up for Xavier Legette. His best deep ball threat, and he doesn't get a hold of it. 2nd down again. This offense is moving the ball. He goes on a late pass here to Tillman, who does get him 4 yards. And this is what they want to find out. 3rd down and 6. Atlanta obviously struggled when they got down in the red zone. We are barely in midfield. Bryce is going to take the snap. Underneath has been open all day, and he's going to go right there to Tillman, who picks up another back-to-back catch. 1st quarter kind of winding down for the squad. Bryce just throws it away as he gets hit. Is there going to be a roughing the passer potentially here? We're going to see what they say. How many holding penalties can one team have? Aquano, we're trying to pick up your 5th-year option. So much work to do for this young team, but we'll figure it out. Bryce, again, so much room. Maybe he could have thrown it to A down the field, but again, he's going to pick up a lot with his legs. And honestly, I'm not mad at Bryce picking up more with his legs. He needs to show that he can do that again. He's trying to audition either for himself or another team to show that he could be their franchise quarterback. And a dot is thrown here to Xavier Legette. In the red zone, this team's looking good, maybe too good. Okay, we're trying to lose this game today. Moore's going to slide over in motion here. Bryce has it. He's going to throw to the corner, and it's batted away by Bates and company. 2nd down and 10. Oh, that's what we want to see. Not next season, but this season. We'll take the pick. Good work, Bryce. Maybe you're the QB, maybe you're not, but we're not going to hold that against you. Despite the interception earlier, Bryce back out here in the red zone, knowing he can lead his team to the 1st points of the ball game. Bryce steps up, and he's in the end zone. Bryce Young on the ground, in the air. I don't want to see any more of those, Bryce, okay? That's too much. 4th quarter, nice 3rd and 10. Bryce has been doing his job this game, keeping it close. Okay, we don't want Roger Goodell to fine us, for maybe selling a little bit. But after that, Pinheiro, who is not coming back next season, has got an opportunity to kick a field goal here. Can he hit this one? This might have the distance. They say it's good. Pinheiro playing for somebody else next year, but nice kick. Now, Atlanta and Kirk turned the ball over. And so we have it right now in a very unfortunate circumstance. Oh, man. That was unfortunate. So we're going to find ourselves here in a very traditional situation, kicking the field goal. Oh, wait, Andy Dalton goes down. Oh, no. The defense back out here. We're trying to make plays. And Kirk Cousins is not trying to win. 2-minute warning, almost there. Cousins throws a little check down Charlie play. Kirk, I need you to do more. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. What will Kirk Cousins do? He throws one to Bijan. Oh, no. Bijan's running. The Panthers might have a top 5 draft pick. The Panthers might have a top 5 draft pick. We're finding ourselves here with 30-some seconds left in a dream. Can we not win this game? Oh no, he dropped it. They'll never see this play coming. 26 seconds left, 4th and 5. The Panthers season on the line. Can they lock in the top 5 pick? Jonathan Brooks fighting for his life. There's a penalty on the play. Something tells me the ref is going to do this, and then he's going to do this, and they're going to say it's a holding penalty on Akem Kwanu. Good job, buddy. You read the script. So the Falcons are going to line up. They're going to hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson, one of the best running backs in the entire NFL. And just like that, the Falcons, after giving it to Bijan, are going to walk out of here with a W. And we should also be celebrating because we have guaranteed ourselves a top 5 pick. What will we do with that top 5 pick? There's a lot to figure out. Coach Game brother is trying to act like he's upset, but just know that as he's shaking his hand, he's saying, thank you very much. I needed that top 5 pick because I got to get somebody out here. Is it a quarterback, a wide receiver? I don't know, but we're going to figure it out. After suffering a loss in Week 18 that no one saw coming, here is the end of the season right here. The 2024 season recap shows the Jets beating the Eagles, things that will not happen this year in real life. You end up getting the Super Bowl champion Jets with the MVP being CJ Mosley. Your MVP of the regular season is Lamar Jackson. Andy Reid is Coach of the Year. Lamar Jackson is Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year is Andrew Van Ginkel. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Jaden Daniels, probably going to happen in real life. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is Jared Verse. No Panthers won anything. We're not surprised. Now, the most recent mock draft has come out, and we are the number 3 team, which means Theo Hoover is projected to go to the Cleveland Browns and not to our team, which has me a little perturbed, okay? Hoover would go there. They have Esteban Gutierrez going number 2 overall, which I'm fine with. I think Jadarius Leary would be a better pick for us, and I'd love to have him here in Charlotte. But I really, really, really wish we could get Theo Hoover at quarterback. That's going to be a tough one for us to figure out. Maybe there's a quarterback that falls later on that we can get in the 2nd round or something of that nature. But if you look at mock draft 1, mock draft 2, mock draft 3, Theo Hoover has been slated to go number 1 overall every single time. And we have a little press conference here. I'm addressing the media, saying, hey, everybody, let's talk about the next few months here. We got some stuff to figure out. What is your plan for the upcoming season or off season? What are reporters going to ask Coach Game brother? We're going to say we can make a splash, upgrade the roster, make sure we win the draft. There's no specific plan. I want to say that we're going to make a splash and upgrade the roster. I think we're going to win the draft regardless, but we have to upgrade this roster. It is bad, real bad. Not saying any specific position, just the overall team. I'm going to say overall talent. I don't want to get into my, things that I want to do, but we got some guys. Whoever's going to be out there at free agency, we're going to take a look. We're going to make a splash. Offense or defense? For sure offense. Defense, I think we're going to upgrade as well. But offense is a spot that we've got to get better. It is so bad right now. Now, do you feel confident that you can improve the talent by training camp? Yes. I believe so. Oh, they're going to check back in training camp and see how I did? You'll know that I get a banana sticker, which is an A for effort and an A+ for delivering results. I look forward to it. Now, upgrade ready. To successfully meet this goal, you need to trade for or sign an offensive starter with an overall rating of at least 85. Easy. I don't have a lot of talent here, but easy. Now we check out some of the retirements here. Case Keenum, Danico Autry. You're seeing some guys. Russell Wilson, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, has left the game. Jason Peters finally realized that he's in his almost 50s and decided to leave. Cam Jordan, Tress Way, Josh Johnson's been on 11 different teams. Jason Verrett and Jerick McKinnon both retire. Andy Dalton will be seeing you. Tyrod Taylor, Aaron Rodgers finally gone to go into mountains and figure out ayahuasca and all that stuff. There's been some interesting players retiring, but nobody's really. Darius Slay. Okay, Darius Slay Jr. actually retiring. He's going to throw me a little bit. Joe Flacco, never elite, is going to finally retire. Kareem Jackson, Von Miller. There are some big names here, but Chris Hubbard, I thought it said Chuba Hubbard. I was like, we traded him. But overall, I'm not surprised by most of these names, with a few that maybe caught me off guard. This offseason is going to be a wild one. We have a lot to prove, a lot to upgrade, and a lot to kind of figure out here. But you know what? I can't wait. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys on the next one.